In this video, guys, I'm going to showcase all of my teams that I'm using for the Chaos Shadow bosses in the Otherworld event. I think I have 13 teams up and running, and I am planning to do a few more, so I'll be showing you a few different examples, but I'm just lacking the resources at the moment. This is day 3 of the Otherworld exploration event on my server, guys. Before we move over into today's main topic, I want to say a big thank you to Dragonheir for sponsoring today's video. If you guys just stumbled upon the channel or you're thinking to try out Dragonheir Silent Gods, you can download the game by clicking the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Like this, you're gonna get to help me and support the channel as well, guys. But diving straight into today's main topic, the Chaos Shadow bosses. So we're gonna start by attacking Shai'Nachtan first because we're gonna start with the Necrosis teams, and I have quite a few teams up and running. Now, the way we're going to do this, guys, I'm not going to play the entire run because this takes quite a bit with all of the teams. What I'll do instead, I'll give you guys a few tips on how to position the champions, and I'm using a lot of champions, quite a few legendaries, some legendary artifacts, but I am hoping that this will shed some light and will give you guys some ideas to create some teams from your own accounts, plus giving you guys some strategies on how to position your champions for each one of these boss individually. One thing that I do want to mention as well, guys, is that my alliance bonuses are maxed because we unlocked them on the second day actually, and my elemental affinity psychic core is almost maxed, except some of the lightning and poison one and some resistance. So this is the Necrosis boss, guys. He deals AoE damage, so you can trick him. There are actually a couple of different strategies that you can use against this boss. How you may notice, he's not covering the entire map, you know, so you have the back row that won't get damaged by the AoE skill. And this is a melee boss, so he will move to your target if you're putting a ranged target on the map. But I'm gonna show you that for the second team, you know. And he deals a lot of damage. Preferably if you can have a cleanse in here or something will be helpful, or debuff immunity, but it's not a necessity. You can still make it work without it, you know. Let's actually go to the very first team, guys, and I have quite a few teams set up already. I love this feature of constantly being able to change teams, and the gear with the click of a button is absolutely amazing. So this very first team, guys, is a bit more hardcore because I'm using 3 legendary champions. But how you may notice, most of my characters are not at level 100. It's actually pretty costly to get them to level 100. What I would suggest is to aim to get them to level 95, level 99, and mainly for the tanks, especially if the boss doesn't damages your entire team. Now, one thing that I will give you as an advice, guys, and I know that this will be one of the main issues for the majority of you guys out there, are scrolls, okay? Scrolling 13 plus teams is pretty hard to do, and what I would suggest you is to manage your scrolls in the following way. Invest them in your support champions, in the champions that need to keep the team alive. That will enable you to keep the teams up and running while you're still dealing damage. One thing that you will notice is that my teams are overkilling the damage by such an insane amount that is almost to the point of pointless, because you only need 22 million damage. Okay, so let's equip this first team in here. Let me show you what artifacts I have on them. So how you may notice, I'm using the Witch's Remains, I'm using the Rift Hourglass. These are 2 artifacts that I'll be using quite a bit. And the very first trick with the positioning for a team like this is to have the tank right here in front of the boss. Then the boss will actually end up in prioritizing the tank, you know, and not really engaging with the rest, while this AoE will not actually reach the back line. You see, all of the back line are actually range heroes. Now we have Joyce, an amazing damage dealer. He summons a few copies of himself, and he only deals damage with a battle skill. That's why I have the Manticore on him. Then we have Sharlash. He deals pretty good damage, and he summons a Fear Bearer, okay, and he's not scrolled. I have the Volcanic Disc on him. Then I have Zadok. He summons as well and deals fairly decent damage. I feel like this artifact will be better on Sharlash, but we're gonna keep it on him now. And then I have Gulende, which will give me a bit of healing, will give me the increased attack when we put debuffs on the boss, and of course will cleanse, will give me a bit of extra healing. My tank, Berengar, will actually put defense down. He is on a Moonlight set, how you may notice, and this will help him to heal himself a bit 2, and he will put recharge speed penalty on the boss. And how you may notice, this hero is not scrolled either. You know, it's pretty hard to get the legendary scrolls. You know, it takes quite a bit of time. But we are using the HP aura because we don't really have anything else available. I'm quickly gonna play you like 20-30 seconds from the fight, then I'll show you the final result, and we're gonna move over to the second team for the Necrosis boss. And there we go, Joyce summoning his copies. Man, Joyce is really probably the best epic summoner as a damage dealer. You know, he's the best damage dealer as an epic summoner. I kind of lost myself in there. But there we go. We will have a few little skeletons going to the boss, but they're so weak. Summons are generally so weak that they're instantly dying. Now, of course, the Fear Bearer is the best summon in the game, and then I think Joyce's summons are the best too after the Fear Bearer, because they're able to survive a bit more. They're getting kind of like the better stats, you know. And how you may notice, we are 40 seconds in with 3.5 million damage, so we'll be reaching 22 million damage without a problem. So here we are, guys. This team is complete now. We managed to reach 30 million damage. And we survived all the way till the end. We actually lost him 1 minute earlier because of the electrocute, the way it works. And pretty impressive, right? We got a good amount of damage. Look at Joyce, 8 million damage. Then you have Zerok with 8.2. So he's actually stepping up his game quite a bit as well, because he has the eyeball of the giant, which does increase his damage quite a bit. But we're going to save this key, and we are going to move to the next team for the Necrosis boss, you know. And at the end, again, I can show you all of the teams, what we achieved with them. So you can challenge the same boss over and over again, as long as you have the characters that you need, of course. Now, this will be a completely different strategy. So this is my second team for the Necrosis, and this is what we're using in terms of artifacts. I am using another legendary artifact, but I'm going to explain you why I'm using... Actually, I'm going to change that. I don't need that one, actually. Wait, just forgot to do it. The thing is, the boss will stop prioritizing Megan as a target for whatever reason. So I can really give her something else. I'm going to give her the Platinum Knight Shield. This is actually a better artifact for her in this situation. So the way we are doing it here, guys... Let me just save this. We have Megan right here, which is a range hero. Now, this is pretty much the exact same team I used in Season 1 against the Necrosis boss, except I didn't have Zarlot, so I used Edgar as tank, if I remember it correctly. I just summoned Zarlot in Season 2. Now, the way it will work, because this is a melee hero, the boss will go all the way to Megan, okay? Then Questa will come next to him, and for whatever reason, at some point, she will become the target. I haven't really understood the reasoning behind it. Then we have Adri. She will actually put me a recharge speed penalty. You see, I don't even have her at 5 stars. She's only at 4 stars. And basically, she will put this recharge speed penalty, which will slow down the boss. Then we have Zarlot, built for damage with a bit of accuracy with the eyeball of the giant on an inventor set. We have Tia, built on an inventor set for damage, only rank 4 as well, not even rank 5. So this will get us the damage, guys, fun enough. Now, you do want to have your main characters pretty tanky if you want to survive longer, especially Questa, which will be changed into the main tank. And these are her total stats. I do have some survivability on her, of course, because she will get next to the boss and get damaged. Questa, she's an absolute beast of a champion. I'm always praising her, guys, since the beta, okay? No timings whatsoever on this team either. So let's crack on with the show. Play 20 seconds of the fight, 30 seconds, and then I'll show you the final results. But you can see how this strategy works. So because this boss has that AoE that I showed you before, and he's shifting focus on the rest of my team, he will actually not damage my 3 heroes that I have right here in line. You see, the range heroes. Plus, they will get invisibility too, which doesn't necessarily make such a big difference, but it does help. Look at the ultimate, and it only damaged Questa and, of course, Megan, you know? And the damage is still pretty good. So we are close to the end here, guys. We lost Questa, we lost Tia. We have 40 seconds left, but we reached the 22+ million damage, you know? So that was the main goal. This was a bit of a bad RNG because of the electrocute. That's the thing that will happen with this boss. He creates quite a bit of RNG because of that. But here we go, another 22 million team. And Questa, man, Questa, she's just so amazing. She can heal, steal ultimate energy, decrease attack, deal tons of damage. Like, look at that. Top damage dealer. She got 41%. And then we have Zarlot with 30%. And then we have Tia with 13.2. But let's save this key and we're going to move over to the next boss. I only have 2 Necrosis teams in here, guys. I don't really think I can make a third one for this boss. I could use some of the Necrosis heroes to help me and get more damage on a fire team, you know, to make another fire team. Make the 4th fire team or 5th maybe, you know. So right here, we're going to go to the Radiant boss. We have Journ, and I have 2 teams in here too. These are very strong, and yes, they are using some awesome legendary heroes, of course, and epic heroes. We're going to start with the very first team. So right here we have Rose, we have, I forgot his name right now actually, we have Hegio, we have Alton, and we have Ardred. I'm using this on Hegio, but you don't really need it because there is a trick on how he actually doesn't get hit. I think Hypsundo, he made a video on this strat with Hegio, which is pretty cool actually. Hopefully I got his name right and I haven't butchered it. I have the Gatekeeper staff on my Ardred, but let me just show you how this team is being played out. Legendary artifacts are extremely helpful, guys. When you have the opportunity to summon on a banner where you can easily get dupes, if your main goal is to get 1 or 2 legendary artifacts, definitely do it. So the way this team will play out, this boss is pretty hard to dodge. He has this AoE attack which covers a big area, and he has this skill that will basically hit all these 3 tiles in front of him. You want to avoid that at all costs, because if he does that, he will gain ultimate energy. So this team will work in the following way. I don't recall if I have any timings. I do have timings on this one. So in case if you want to see them, sorry, there they are. And let's crack on with the run. I'm gonna use the attack aura or crit damage, whatever we have available, because that will give me more damage. Now the trick right here with the Hegio, guys, I'm gonna show you in just a second. You wanna make sure you are manualing his first ultimate. So this is a pretty cool trick actually that I've seen. I'm gonna wait for the defense down. There we go. And right here, you're gonna wanna put this box behind the boss. So Hegio is going to jump. Bang. He's still gonna deal damage on the boss, but from here on, he's kind of like going to be hidden from the boss. He's not gonna take any damage whatsoever, which is crazy. The boss will still prioritize Ardred and Rose, and with a battle skill, he will only attack Ardred. Now, the reason why I have Ardred with the Gatekeeper staff is because we're gonna gain some shield, but it's not gonna be game-changing for, wow, gain a massive shield. It will help us to soak more damage early on, which means that our HP will not decrease as fast, you know? And because of it, we have that skill haste as well, which is more important. That's the main thing why I have the Gatekeeper staff on her, for the extra skill haste, allowing her battle skill to heal a bit more often. But look at Hegio, he's taking no damage. Ardred is amazing as well because we are gaining that increased defense from her passive on the entire team, which is such a game changer. So this fight is complete as well, guys, but this is such a crazy overkill of damage. 42 million, almost double of what we need with this team. And we have Hegio with 33.7%, 14 million. Then we have Alton with 15 million. We have Tagril, or what's his name, with 6.5, 15.6% of the damage. So a very crazy damage in here. You definitely have room to replace some of the champions. Even though you might not survive as long or something, you're still going to be able to get closer to the 22 million damage, you know? And some of these teams might not necessarily be easy to replicate, guys, but you might get ideas of what you can change in order to get closer to the 22 million, or even over 11 million is still a very good damage, you know? Let's do one more team in here because I have a second team. And this time around, we don't have any tricksters jumping behind the bosses. This time around, we're gonna go in with Clovis, who is a very underestimated tank. We have Welby, the rare hero. We have Laurentil. We have Huberg, which will be absolutely amazing. And we have Gillian. I think I do have timings on this team too, how you may notice right here on the screen. So let's make sure we are activating them. We do have a crit damage aura. Again, we're not going to use the defense aura. This team won't survive all the way to 5 minutes, if I remember it correctly, unless we are getting good RNG. The main trick right here is going to be the main target, guys, and a Moonlight set on him with accuracy. He's going to drop ultimate energy on the boss and put attack penalty. He's gonna get a lot of defense on himself. The battle skill will put more increased defense too. Gillian will pretty much do the same job, will heal. She is on an ancestral protection set with blessed camel bells, so she will be providing a bit of extra healing, and this set will take a damage reduction for her and for Clovis, because the rest of the heroes will not get hit. But if you are curious to see the full image right here, guys, with the artifacts and what we're using on the characters, Welby has the defense down artifact, because Huberg, he just deals way too much damage to sacrifice that from him, you know. But let's crack on with this run. So Clovis runs at the boss. Again, it's very important to position your characters in the following way, because when he is using his ultimate, he will only hit Clovis and Gillian. That's it. He won't hit anybody else, you know. And with the battle skill, again, he will only hit Clovis. So that's very important, you see. Only 2 heroes getting hit. There we go. And that's how this run will actually go. I think the first team dealt more damage than this one can do, and that's mainly because we don't survive all the way to the end, you know. But you drop some ultimate energy, you put a decrease attack. You kind of want to make sure you have the decrease attack for when he's using the ultimate, you know, like it was right here, and then the rest of them will just get the job done. And here we go. This comes to an end a bit faster than expected, but it's still a very impressive damage. 30 million damage, guys, and it's more than you need. You only need 22, right? I am letting the entire runs now because I want to see kind of like maximum potential for each team to showcase it to you guys for the video, but usually I'm just stopping them once I reach 22 million damage, because if no, it will be kind of like a waste of time, you know? So we cashed on that damage, we saved it. I haven't even checked the total damage actually, but Huberg probably dealt like 2-3 times more than Welby, you know? So sorry, I rushed to click on that a bit too fast, but still a pretty solid damage. That's it for my Radiance teams. Now we're going to move over to the next one, which is the poison damage. Now here, I find this boss as being one of the most challenging ones. I only have one team, and I found it really hard to make this team without using Zephy to reach 22 million damage. And this is the team right here. I'm not using actual poisoners, guys, to deal damage like that, because it seemed pretty pointless, funny enough. And I am using raw damage. So we have Sigrid, we have Eli for raw damage as well, and to put defense down. Frerbart, I have Theodore to put recharge speed penalty and more decrease attack. And we have Zephy. I have Zephy with the vest because of the passive, and that will reduce a bit the damage that we're taking, you know. But I'm sure you can make it work without the vest. Now this does have a preset, a timing, and this is what we have right here. The reason why I have it on a 21 seconds cooldown is because I have recharge speed penalty on the boss, and if no, we are going to overlap the boss. So we want to make sure that's not going to happen. There is a secret here with the positioning as well, guys. Lossenia does have AoE attacks. One is next to her, one is ranged. So you want to avoid the ranged one. So Frerbart is going to run straight to her, then Zephy and Frerbart will get damage from the AoEs, while the rest of the champions that are spread out on the map will not take damage. For this one, we will use the attack aura that we have. Let's make sure we are putting the timing, and we should be able to survive all the way to 5 minutes. Now, this team will not necessarily deal an insane amount of damage compared to the previous ones, and that's mainly because they don't have enough firepower, let's be honest. We have Sigrid, who hits pretty hard, 300k hit, how you've probably noticed that, but they're not as amazing as the others. Now, Theodore has a serial set that will put increased attack whenever he lands a debuff. we do have Moonlight sets on a Zephy, and that will actually heal Frerbart a bit too, you know, whenever she's using the ultimate. Now, the way this team works, guys, because I kind of like forgot to mention it at the beginning, we have Frerbart tanking, right? He's gonna do some healing, but we have Zephy that will put invincibility with the ultimate skill. So that's why it's so important to have Zephy or Ogok in this team. I feel like this is the most challenging boss out of all 6 of them. She just deals so much damage, and I found it almost impossible to keep my champions alive, even with double healer and stuff. You see, we still lost a couple of champions before the 5 minutes, even though we are able to put unkillable on ourselves. We still managed to reach 25 million damage. I'm more than happy with that, and because this is the most challenging boss, I am not planning to do a second team for this, because I don't have the champions. I actually have some amazing legendary heroes from the poison element, but I cannot use them, you know, so check this out. In terms of statistics, guys, we have Theodore with 4.3 million damage. He's not really necessarily built only for damage, you know. We have Sigrid with 10 million damage, and we have Eli with 8.2. Now, Eli, he does apply poisons, but I haven't really built him with the thought of giving him enlightenment and the rest of the things. No, I just want raw damage out of this champion too. But let's get out of here, because I don't want to see Lossenia again till tomorrow. She's just being too mean to us, guys. Let's move over to the next boss, and let's see what we have in the menu. Lightning damage, and here comes in play the new damage architecture. I do have a team that's actually fairly accessible against Talwer. So he takes 100% more lightning damage, and he summons a mushroom, okay, that will provoke your team and then will land debuffs. So what we are going to use here, guys, we're going to start with the very first team, and the first team, if I'm not mistaken, uses the new damage architecture, which is Thunderbolt. Now, how you may notice, we have quite a few amazing heroes in here. We have Perkunte, which will deal the main damage. We have Nissa, and we have the epic champion that will constantly apply Thunderbolt, and then Perkunte will come in and deal a lot of damage with all the stacks that he's gaining. I have Irina for decreased attack, and the tank is Malak in here, guys. He will have a Moonlight set, which will allow him to heal even more. He's not scrolled either, but he's going to be able to put in a pretty serious amount of work in here. Let me actually bring up the team. I do have a timing, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we do. And the way you are positioning your champions here, guys, is key. So the mushroom that Talwer will place will basically cover a box around it, you know? So in order to dodge that mushroom to provoke your entire team, you need to position your tank right here if you have 3 of them on the other side, or right here if you have 3 of them on this side. Basically, the tank will run at Talwer. The mushroom will land around them here, so it won't reach the rest of the champions. Irina, she will put a decreased attack. Then we have, what's her name? Manda, who will basically just put Thunderbolt. And the reason why I have her and Nissa in the team is to activate Perkunte's passive. Now, I don't have them scrolled, so I have a lot of skill haste on them. That's why she has the Rift Hourglass. The more stacks on Perkunte, the more damage he's going to deal with this. So it's all about the over one. That's how Electrocuted works, the new damage architecture. So let's crack on with this team. This as well has a lot of firepower. It will deal quite a bit of extra damage on top of what we need. But check out, you see the mushroom where it is? It's not reaching anyone else because we are at least 1 tile distance. If I would place Perkunte in the front 1 tile, he will get taunted by the second mushroom that spawns behind the tank. Now Malak, he is an absolutely amazing tank. The passive will basically give him a ultimate energy when he gets crowd control, and he's gonna get healing. So it will make him just perfect for this boss. But look at Perkunte already, 3 million damage, 5 million in 40 seconds. And we are getting him all the way up to 15 and 25 stacks, in between 15 and 25 stacks of overcharged on Perkunte. Like, he has 17 right now. I think he had more when he actually used the ultimate. 19. So he had 19 when he used the ultimate. Then, of course, it resets again. And if I would have scrolls on Nissa and Manda, I would be able to probably get him close to 30 stacks. I know a lot of people are complaining about Thunderbolt and how hard it is to activate a Perkunte, for example. Look at that, 25 stacks already. And without scrolls either. 27 stacks on him. Look at the damage. 1 million damage with his ultimate. So as long as you are able to enable him, he deals amazing damage. Now the rest of the Thunderbolt heroes, they're not that amazing. I'm definitely going to agree with that. Perkunte is just crazy if you can activate him, and I cannot wait to summon a dupe so I can purchase his artifact. That would make him even crazier. Like, look at that damage. 25 million damage almost from Perkunte alone. Exclusives are exclusives for a reason. They do deal insane damage. So this is the first team that we are using for the lightning boss, guys. Definitely very impressive. 63.4%. Irina, she's built to put a decrease attack, deal a bit of damage, but 7 million is still good from that rare hero. I'm a big fan of Irina as well. Plus, she does offer a bit of support as well, Let's claim the rewards and move over to the next team. Now, the next team, unlike the other guys, is with the good old Dauntless heroes. Now, I have no legendary hero in this Dauntless team because I just don't owe any of them. I would love some, but maybe another time. This is what we have. I know it doesn't look as shiny, as exciting as the other one, but trust me, it will get the job done. Now, in terms of artifacts, I am using a couple of different legendary artifacts. I'm going to explain you why I'm using those in a second. My Dauntless heroes are built on a Gambler set. So we have Hexandra, she will be the main tank. We have Navi right here, we have Nimbus, we have Viola, and we have Nathaniel. No timings. And the positioning is the following. So this time around, we're using a completely different strategy. We have no melee tank, we have a ranged tank, so the boss will have to come to us. He likes Hexandra a lot, so he's gonna follow her around anyway. You want to place your other 4 champions on the opposite side, so like this, the mushroom won't affect them. You don't want them like this or anything crazy, because then they will get touched by the mushroom and taunted, So we're going to use an attack aura for this, just to pump in more damage faster. We might not survive the full 5 minutes, which doesn't really matter anyway. He has, of course, the vest, because he puts shield on the team like this. We're gonna get a bit of damage reduction with that. Now, I've tried Hexandra with the Scarab. It didn't seem to work as good, so I decided to go with the Blast Jar instead. And I do have better results with this legendary artifact instead of the Scarab, though, just to put it out there in case if you guys were curious. But let's crack on with it. These Dauntless heroes will actually do so much damage. You won't believe it, but they will be doing an amazing damage. Defense down from Viola. Then, of course, we have the Dauntless heroes going in ham, and with the Gambler sets and all the multi-hits that they're bringing, the enemy max HP that procs from Gambler is gonna be very consistent. It's gonna proc a lot, and that will allow us to ramp up the damage very fast. Like, look at that. We're already at 3+ million damage in 30 seconds. Very impressive, considering what team we're using. Not as shiny as the previous one, right? We have two rare heroes, 3 epics, and we still achieve some amazing results. So we lost our tank again here, guys. It is pretty challenging to keep them alive if you don't build them with resistance and if you don't have enough support for them. But it doesn't matter. We reached the 22+ million damage, and we got way more than we actually need. So we're fine to move over to the next boss. That's all I have for the lightning element. If I would have some awesome legendaries from here, I could potentially make another team. But unfortunately, I don't have literally any of them. Using melee heroes like Shelter, Shagrull is much harder on this boss than you would expect. So we have 29 million damage, and we have Vanny with 7.5. We have Nimbus with 13. And we have Viola with 6.2 million damage. And Nathaniel and Hexandra healed quite a bit. But that should do for the lightning boss. We have no other team here. We are ready to move to the next boss. You see, I'm kind of like following the map, guys. We have 2 more, and these are the craziest ones, okay? We have the cold and the fire damage. So Radiance and Ice. So strong this season. Ice Blast, the new damage architecture. I'm loving it, okay? I am absolutely loving it. I was so close to attempt to do 3 teams made of Ice Blast. But in the end, I decided that I'm gonna do 2 of the regular Frost teams. So let's head over and find the very first Frost team. So the very first one is the following, guys. Let me just equip it in. We have Sheena, which will activate Saidic a lot. We have Garius, I have Zorak, and I have Faesa. Now, yes, I do have quite a few different legendary artifacts on these ones because I purchased the one for the Frost. I have the Gatekeeper Staff, the Witch's Remains. I have the Fan for derivative damage. And we have the Crown of the Unclean on Faesa. In terms of timings, I'm pretty convinced that we have something set up just to make sure the ultimates are spot on. They're using them at the right moment. Let me activate this, and this team is just bonkers, okay? And I have 2 Ice Blast teams that are just bonkers, both of them, because they did so much damage. So Alton, guys, has no AoE attacks. There's no way to trick this boss to attack a specific target. This boss attacks randomly, okay? So these skills will attack random. You don't know who's gonna get hit. It can be a lot of RNG with some of the characters that you might be using that they are getting hit. But as long as you do offer them a bit of support, you're gonna be more than fine and have a decreased attack. Now, the boss will buff himself with Rally. Rally will increase his damage, will increase the orbs that he fires at you. So if you have a champion like Voresh to put block buffs on him for the final skills, that will stop him from gaining Rally and deal more damage on you. But honestly, if you have a decent support, it's not a necessity. Now, I'm considering in using Voresh for a 5th Frost team if I end up in doing it. It's going to be very costly on materials, so I might not be able to do that because it's going to take me too long. I might just do my 4th one. At the moment, I have 3 ice teams fully built. I am waiting the materials for the 4th one. I will start farming them as soon as I finish this video. And that team should be possibly ready for tomorrow. I have quite a few stamina refills, and I think I am able to get what I need for tomorrow. But it's just a lot of grinding, basically, you know. So look at that. We're already at 20 million damage, guys, in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So because this team doesn't actually have decreased attack, guys, we actually lost Saidic already, which was kind of like the main damage dealer. The team might survive close to the end, but we already have 50 million damage. Do I need more than that? Not at all. So I'm actually going to back out of here, save the damage for this team, and move over to the next one. The next team will have decreased attack because I don't have Garius with a Gatekeeper Staff to give me that insane shield, you know. So check out the damage. Saidic, 23 million, guys. 23. Then we have Zorak with 12.6. We have Sheena with 12.2. And Faesa is there just because Faesa is an amazing, amazing character. And it has that passive that might stop the boss, reduce the chance to put Rally by 20% on himself, you know? So she's actually very, very solid as a character. That's why it was my most wanted for this season, to get Faesa. And moving over to the next Ice Blast team, guys. This time around, of course, will feature Gertin. Another amazing, amazing epic character that was added in Season 2. So let's see, where is that team? Frost team, Ice Blast 2. So this time around, we are using a completely different team in here. As a tank, we have Urian, guys. He will bring the decreased attack. He's not scrolled. And then we have Bladin. He will activate Gertin. We have Nord, who will activate Gertin even more. And I do have quite a few legendary artifacts. These teams will rely a bit more on legendary artifacts, but you don't need them because the damage that you're getting out of these teams is just crazy. Honestly, drop the legendary artifacts and you'll be just fine because it's such an overkill when we're talking about damage, you know? But that's what we have. And again, there's no secret to the positioning. You just want the tank the damage. I don't think I do have a skill cooldown, actually. I wasn't sure if I do or no. We only have one aura available, so we're going to use the aura from Bladin, and let's crack on with the run. You see, I have 3 characters at level 95. I haven't bothered to take them all the way to 100 because it's no point really. There's no point really, and we have to build so many teams. So level 90, level 95 will get the job done. How I mentioned, it's key to have the right characters at level 99, especially the tanks, you know. Gertin, she's at 100 because I am using her in the Vortex, and she's been at level 100 for a very long time. But this as well will ramp up so much damage, guys. Not as much as the previous one, because of course I don't have Sheena and Zorak in the team, but still, it will be a very, very crazy damage. So we lost Nord already, guys, with 2 minutes left, so a bit kind of like halfway through, but the damage is already crazy. Look at that, 34 million damage. We don't really need more than this anyway, so slowly we'll be losing the rest of the team, which is absolutely fine. I'm not expecting them to survive to the infinite, especially that my tank is not scrolled either. You know, that makes quite a bit of a difference. But that is the second Ice Blast team, and I really think Ice Blast is just so freaking strong, man. Is amazing. You know, I'm loving it. For the Vortex as well, that's the meta this season. And yeah, wish you guys luck to summon some of these Ice Blast heroes when you are moving to Season 2, or now if you haven't summoned them. Then I have another team for this boss, and this will be just a regular Frost team. I actually have 2, but one of them is not ready to rumble just yet. So I have Frost team 4, which will be a bit adjusted once I can build them. So I need to build 4 more heroes. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. And I have the Frost team 3. So I'll be doing some changes in between 3 and 4. The reason why Ice and Radiance is so strong this season is because Radiance has so many good support heroes. Like here, we have Quarian. He's going to keep this team alive, guys, okay? Quarian is not messing around. Right here, we have Meredith, okay? She's going to be very solid. Now, if I need another healer in here, I can always bring in Kaledo, you know, to the other team. And this is the example of another team that I could do and reach 22 million damage. This could be my 15th team. The only problem is that I need to farm a lot of materials, and I think it's gonna be too late. That's what I said. But we're gonna get to this in just a second. Let me get my team in order here. So I do have Vitar, I have Trollgar, I have Lossenia, I have Vitar. This is a strong team. We're gonna put the attack aura, and these are the artifacts that we have on. 4 legendary artifacts. I do have the Gatekeeper staff on Quarian. I didn't really have any artifact that helps him so much that's leveled up, and that will give him skill haste, will give us a bit of shield early on to survive a bit longer. And I don't have my Lossenia scrolled. The other legendary heroes are scrolled for me because I'm using them excessively everywhere. And Trollgar, funny enough, was the very first character I ever scrolled. But no skill cooldown in here. They're just going crazy. And Lossenia has, how you've probably noticed, the Rift Hourglass, and I have the Witch's Remains on Vinyara. Sorry guys, I've done so many teams already that I'm a bit like, whoa, what's happening? You know, what's happening? But this again will actually drop very, very solid damage. Now Vitar is much better on enemies where they have a lot of allies next to them. They have summons or something, and she can do a lot of damage. But even like this, she deals serious damage. I'm loving her for Arena. Like, I gotta say it, she completely changed my game for Arena. So freaking powerful. Then we have Vinyara, drops the ultimate energy, brings decreased attack. She's the main tank in here, so we actually tanked her quite a bit. And the rest are just dealing damage. Again, positioning is not very important because nothing crazy happens with the positioning. As long as you have the tank in order, you know, you're gonna be spot on. And already 5+ million damage in less than a minute, you know. So we're easily going to knock this down as well. So this team is about to crumble as well, guys. We lost Vitar. We are about to lose somebody else in the next couple of seconds, most probably. And the damage is pretty good. So what I'm planning to do, because I want to talk a bit about some potential teams for this element, just because there's so many options for Radiance and Ice, guys, that you have quite a few possibilities to build teams in here, you know. So I think I'm going to move my Vinyara from this team to the fourth team and bring Nissa from there, the decrease attack champion from the Radiance element, in here instead. And I think that should get the job done. Let me just back out of here because we have plenty of damage. This Alton dude is so happy all the time, huh? He defeated us. He's happy now. Let's see who dealt more damage, Vitar or Trollgar. They're both very, very solid. Trollgar actually dealt a bit more, 40.2%. He does have the single target hits, which do add up quite a bit of extra damage. And Vitar with 11 million, still good. Lossenia with 7. If I would have Lossenia scrolled, it would be much, much better. Much, much better. But that would be my third team for the ice element, guys. And how I mentioned, I do quickly want to make a couple of pointers in here because they might be coming in handy to some of you. So this is the idea of my fourth team. I have a Frost Applier. I can always drop Drist, but I was thinking maybe to put him as a tank if I'm not doing Hochadir as a tank. But I can drop Drist or Hochadir and bring in maybe a different Frost Applier, like if you have Rava, and bring in Usha, the rare champion. She just deals crazy, crazy damage. I'm actually going to put her in the second team. I forgot to put her in there. Then I have Nissa, who will be the decrease attack champion for this team. If you don't have a support like Garius, guys, you need to make sure you have a decrease attack, you know? So I don't have her scrolled either, but it won't necessarily be a problem because this doesn't have a 75% chance. It's 100%, you know? So you're gonna be more than fine with that. And this could potentially be a very solid team. Rowena, she deals crazy damage, like insane damage. I just don't have her leveled up yet, but I'm definitely going to take her in my fourth team. Then talking about a fifth potential team for me, right here, I can always actually drop one of these champions. Dorkaraz is too good to drop him out. He does inflict the frost. So what I would drop in here, probably edit the lineup. Let's go to frost. So I would probably drop him out, Sovelis. He does manipulate the ultimate energy, but let's just say we don't necessarily need that when we can have Usha coming in here and dealing insane damage. You know, like this would be a solid team. We have a healer. We don't have attack penalty in this team though, so that's my only problem. I have the recharge speed penalty, so I will have to potentially look at a different option for attack down. Maybe replace Voresh from here with somebody else that puts attack down. You see all these teams, and I'm still not using Voresh, which is crazy. But I feel like Kaledo is going to be a good healer. You get a bit of ally protection. You're getting the healing from his ultimate, and you can always double dip it on healers instead, you know, and still reach some decent results. I just wanted to kind of like offer you guys a few different options because they have a vast variety of champions, these elemental affinities. And time to move over to the final boss, guys. And that is the fire boss. Now here I have 3 different teams up and ready. I am planning to make a 4th team, but I'm going to show you examples for that too. And that will take me up to 15 teams. Now this team probably will take me a couple of days, probably 3 days to get it organized. By that time, my server-wide progress will still be under control, but this is going down pretty quick on my server. We have some crazy players in here. Now this boss, he won't deal any AoE range damage. He will only hit your tank, and this is pretty straightforward. With this boss, you want to make sure that your back row won't get bothered by him, you know. So let's find the very first team. So this is my first fire team right here. This is a bit more whalish. I have a couple of them that are not. We're gonna get to them in a second. I just have them in the order on how I actually build them. So I have this epic hero, Kairza, okay? You're gonna get this one from the Pillar of Trials when you reach 60 stages. Make sure you're doing it by the time you reach this stage in the game with a Psychic or almost max. You're gonna smash the 20 stages on each. She has this amazing ultimate, recharge speed penalty, attack penalty, and she strikes the enemy 3 times, which makes her perfect for the Crown of the Unclean or Witches Remains artifact. So I'm going to make sure I'm bringing in the team fully so you guys can see the builds. I have Huldork, I have Casper, I have Foley, both of them wild heroes. And then, of course, we have this beautiful beast Thorin, and he is with bells as well. double skill haste set. I do have him fully scrolled, and he will actually just heal the team and offer a lot of support to our tank. Now, our tank in this team is going to be Kyrza. The reason why she is the tank is because she's a melee hero. She's going to go straight at the boss, and she's going to put all the right debuffs on him. Now, then I have Huldorg on a 3-tile range from the boss to make sure everything comes in play properly from him. You know, it's all about the passive. We're decreasing the ultimate energy, we're increasing the damage, we have attack penalty with him, and at the same time, we are removing his buffs, okay? I don't have him scrolled. I wish I would have scrolls for him as well. Then Casper and Foley will be the wild heroes. I do have a timing on this team, guys. I want to make sure that Casper is using his ultimate before Foley, and Foley is using it after, so that triggers the ultimate on Casper, which requires another wild hero to proc it, you know? So let's crack on with this run. This, again, will be really, really overpowered, you know? But it's going to be a sweet one. So Thorin, guys, for whoever is not familiar, with his passive, will give 25% of his stats to the ally in front of him, which right here is our tank, okay? And she will be able to survive without a problem on this boss, plus the healing that we're having. We have Huldor coming in with his big shotgun, dropping the ultimate energy on the boss, removing the increased attack from him, you know, and the wild heroes just doing crazy, crazy damage. Like, look at that. Casper, Foley, they're already up there, you know, doing an amazing, amazing job. 351k. And I've seen Casper hit for 500k. 500k. A lot of you guys were asking me in my Discord, Skratch, should I use the tongue or the ring for the wild heroes as a legendary artifact? I decided to go with the tongue, guys, not only because it's much easier to build characters with that, but it just fits more, it seems more suitable for characters like Casper and others that don't need themselves to proc the wild 100% with 100% chance, you know? And is actually doing a pretty good thing, you know. Getting the extra crit rate is definitely very helpful to expect. 469k hit. You saw that? Damn, Casper, very, very impressive. So how I mentioned, guys, we're gonna survive all the way to the end here. There's no way in hell this boss will kill my my Kyrza with Thorin behind her, and a complete overkill of damage again, guys. 40 million. I actually split my wild heroes, and I made the second one. I moved Erich from here to the other team. But check this out. We have Foley with 11 million, Casper with 18 million damage, you know, and Huldorg with 8.7 without scrolls. If I would have scrolls, he will actually do even more. Now, you know what? We have one more new damage architecture that we haven't tried out, and that is Burn. Now, a lot of people were not big fans of Orestes for whatever reason. I love Orestes. I think he's amazing. And we're actually going to use a full Burn team in here. Let me just find it first. Fire team number 2. So let me just load it. I do have Durem in here. I have Adolphus. I have, of course, Biggs. And I have Isolde. Now I have more legendary artifacts in here. This is actually the very first full team of 5 legendary artifacts. But how you may notice, we're purely relying on damage from Burn heroes. Now my Durem, unfortunately, he's not fully scrolled either. So I have more skill haste on him to allow him to use the skills more often and apply Burn on the enemies too. And I have Biggs. He's going to be the main character that will land the burns, and he will be the defense down character too. And he does have a serial set which will give me more increased attack. Of course, I have Orestes. This is his build. A lot of you guys might be curious of what build I have on him because you want to know how he survives. The legendary artifact actually helps him quite a bit because this will give him a 15% damage reduction and more crit damage. But the main thing is I have a 60 plus K HP and I have 1.5k defense. With the rest of the stats and the damage reduction from the Psyche core will keep him alive. And he is, of course, on an Inventor set. The rest are on a Moonlight sets to get more healing on my Isolde. I do think I have a timing in here. Yes, we do. And one issue that I was actually having before was him using his ultimate straight after Irzillas was detonating all the burns. And by the time he was using that, we were left with no no burns for his ultimate to really get the job done, you know. So let's try it like that and see if we have enough skill haste on him to get him to 12 seconds. We're gonna use the crit damage aura instead of the defense one because we're gonna ramp up more damage, you know. Or we could actually no. Let's put the defense aura. Let's put the defense aura. We're gonna survive a bit longer because that's kind of like the main issue with a team like this. When you have a Radiance or a Skratch from the burn damage architecture, they will be melee, right? So they will be running straight at the boss, and it will be harder to keep them alive. But look at that damage. You guys saw that damage jumping. The more burn stacks you have on, the more damage you do. And Irzillas is very unique. He's kind of like the epic version of the legendary exclusive because he detonates all of the stacks of burn from the enemy and deals a massive amount of damage. Now I actually can build a fourth fire team with burn again without using any other one of these ones, because we have 2 more epics and a rare and they will get the job done. I actually just thought about it now. I'm gonna show you that team. That's gonna be my 4th fire team, and I have a 4th ice team, and that will make my 15 teams in total. Okay, I made up my mind because I don't have more wild heroes. I would like to have a Flora or Rash or a Felicia to be able to build more wild teams, but unfortunately we cannot. So 1 minute in, 10 million damage with burn. Okay, look at Irzillas detonating that damage. Let's check it again. So we have how many stacks? 6, 8, 9 stacks, and the damage was crazy. I haven't even saw it. There were too many numbers in there. Now, it seems like I gotta work a bit on the timings, guys, because Adolphus, he's using the ultimate after he sold them. And that's a problem because I'm not healing the team like this. I'm not sure why it's happening, but we're gonna check the timings to see what exactly is going on wrong there. But like this, you are able to get a pretty good amount of damage. And if I'm fixing the timings to keep this team alive for longer, we're gonna be ranking crazy damage too, which is not going to be necessary whatsoever, you know. So let's back out of the fight. But look at Irzillas. Impressive damage. Really, really impressive. Burn is actually very, very strong, especially when you have multiple enemies next to each other, like in this case with the summoners, you know. So we have Journ with 10 million damage, almost on the dot. We have Biggs with 4.5. Irzillas with almost 16, 15.7. And let me save this quickly. So 33 million damage from this team. And I want to quickly check the timings to see what was the issue, just in case if any of you guys will try to replicate something similar, to kind of like know what to expect, you know. So where are we? Fire team 2. So I have Adolphus on 18, Isolde on 18, and Isolde, for whatever reason, she's using hers a bit slower than him. So maybe I can put him on 19, 18.5. Something strange is happening. Oh, I know, it's this right here. You know what? Let's change it to 14 seconds. This should do the job because it's literally like half a second distance or a second in between them, and that should get the job done. But we have one more team to use in here, guys, and this is honestly the most free-to-play team for this boss. I already released a different guide on this team where I use no legendary artifacts and stuff like that. But here I think I do have the Witch's Remains on my team where I'm trying to get the damage. This is what we have in terms of gear sets: 2 Moonlights, 1 Cyril, double Inventor set, and Liko, she's the healer. We have Horus as the tank. Dane, he's honestly here for no real reason. I was thinking like Dane is probably the easiest champion to replace out of this team, either with another damage dealer, either with another support, because he doesn't really do much. The main thing is he's bringing the increased attack from the Cyril set and landing defense down. We're going to use the HP aura because we don't have any other options, and I do think we had no timings on this one. So we can just... Actually, I wanted to put a timing. Yes, I wanted to put a timing on Liko. That was one of the things that was happening. So let's put this at 12.5, and we're gonna put this on 18 seconds. The incense burner will give me enough ultimate energy to make sure I'm putting it at the right time. And I'm gonna put block buffs on the boss for 10 seconds. Like this, the boss won't actually be able to get any increased attack. This boss puts increased attack on himself, right? So pretty straightforward. But again, it's just one-way strategy. Chuck in the tank in there and make sure he's staying alive, while the rest of them will just get to do the crazy damage. Block buffs is on. Decrease attack is on. I should try to maybe time a bit Dane as well, but I just don't have enough skill haste on him to keep him on a 18 seconds rotation, so that's going to be pretty pointless. So we lost our tank. Probably is the end of the run. But again, very disgusting damage from possibly the most free-to-play friendly team for any of the Chaos Shadow bosses. It's actually pretty damn nasty because there are quite a few free heroes involved in this team. You know, I'm a big fan of this team. 38 million damage. We have Dane with 4.8. So honestly, he didn't do that much in the run because we have block buffs. He's not really removing any buffs with his ultimate. He puts the smaller attack version of decrease attack, but he's not as reliable all the time. So maybe a different attack down champion could potentially be better in here to survive even longer if you're struggling with that. Then we have Erich with 18 million and we have Nida with 9.8. Let me just save my last key for today, guys. My last team rather than key. And I feel like we've achieved pretty good results. Now, I do want to show you the possibility of building one more team for this boss. And that would be the following. So, if we are talking about more burn heroes, let's start with the Necrosis first. So, from here, we can bring in a tank. Either we can bring her, either we can bring him as a tank. Then, talking about healers, she will be the next best option. Why? Because she will actually give us a defense up, debuff immunity, which doesn't really matter, but we're gonna get healing from her. And she's not necessarily the best healer, but with the right tank, you should be more than fine. Now, the reason why I'm saying that Irma is gonna be nice is because she already has some healing in her own kit, and she has this damage reduction, which will keep her alive. Now, you can use Edgar. He's a good tank as well, and he will get shield on himself. You know, that's the main thing that he will do, and you might need to have some good attack down champion in your team too, possibly, if you want to use him. But for my team, I would prefer to honestly use Irma instead, just because she will probably survive a bit better. Now, talking about the heroes that I will be bringing in here to deal damage, again, is the new damage architecture, which is Burn. These two epics are pretty solid, okay? They can actually put some stacks on the enemy and detonate them too. Each one of them will have a chance to detonate the stacks, but not as Arasis does. And then you have Percival. He will actually put more stacks and give you increased attack. So I really think that this will be my final team, my 15th team that I will probably have to build if by any chance my server doesn't end the event before I get the materials for them. My next priority is to make the Frost team, and for the moment, that's kind of like how we're looking. You know, we have 15 more days. Once we're gonna reach 100% on everything, the event will actually end. So I managed to collect all these rewards today with the keys that we've done. Before I was rank 77 on the leaderboard with 89,000. But let's collect all this quickly and see. So we got 4 more stamina refills, which are great. 21,000 Echo of Clepsydra. So that will put us at what? 110k. And that will put us in top 20 to 30. Yeah, top 20 to 30, which is my goal. I want to reach top 50 for this season. Hopefully all these teams were helpful to some of you guys. Maybe you got some different ideas on mixing some of the characters. You've seen how the end game is being played in Dragonheir Silent Gods, guys. And yeah, that was all for today's video. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching. If you guys want to get involved and download Dragonheir Silent Gods, you can do it by clicking on the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. Much love to all of you, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace!